Okay, so this video is on an EMF message. This message is going to be very specific, and to me it feels like a reveal to another layer to someone's situation that they could have been asking for clarity on, and in fact this reveal might be enough information to bring closure to a case. So if you're interested in doing or learning how to do EMF reader messages, you'll just download one that you feel is suitable for you, preferably one with a actual word dictionary so you don't have to guess what is being translated. You'll write those words down, you'll look up the definition to those words, and you'll build your message from there. So this message says, someone needs to take time to go away, reflect on a decision or a matter. Someone who has made a firm decision to do something and is unwavering is facing another decision to make. Someone has loosely invited someone to an event, a legal proceeding involving guardianship of siblings. A former assessment and approval of significant assistance and legal issues. This person was questioned for this guardianship. Says creating an environment that protects babies. There is alcohol and glass cups that are made accessible to these babies. They came to the address, a call about a shooting, and needing to find the person of interest to serve documents to. These documents are about new information found in regards to a case. This person's ability to hold any more weight on their shoulders is low. Safety is now a concern. A person who has mastered the manipulation of the term IDOE/design means a concept from integrating culture, emotion, and human connection into business meetings. This person who has mastered this effect is trying to use this to make them engage in believing their side. A person who has made claims they have an adult child of their own, who has children, who still needs them in an ongoing process of raising, providing, nurturing their adult child and grandchildren. Someone who is a ruler's counselor or a mighty advisor is mandating an increase in payment because with the new information received shows there has been an unnecessary overload of torment, depravity, of necessary sustenance and shelter, killing the bond and relationship between parent and child. To add to this evidence coming forward is the request to have a photo produced of the violent crime done. This is to be considered a scheduled death. This information is coming forward by someone who finally quit the fight after a long crash out, a meltdown, because the job looked easy but turned out to be a dead end or over demanding. This person goes to say the goal was also to cause intense, long-lasting childhood pressure that would result in mental health. By having mental health issues, or to cause the mental health issues by putting them through rigid expectations and experiences, developmental stress and behavioral constraints. This was to be done in a rigid, artificial environment outside of what was their normal upbringing. Next, they requested a routine and a petty, long-standing cycle of disputes or arguments so that to the outside world it would give the appearance of a valid relationship that was longer than it really was. Next, they needed a recording. This parent needed to record this parent having a nasal infection that would require hospitalization, so record of any illegal drug use could be recorded and a connection could access the record. The informant then said he would receive a call when heat, in quotes, police, will be on low patrol or informed and agreed to pull back on investigating any suspicious activity, including this person, so that they could then deliver a female to the river for opportunity to murder. This parent and grandparent have decided it is time to go to the airport. They need to get out of the state, possibly travel to another country. This event needed to look natural, like it was fate. They were overwhelmed with their capacity was overwhelmed, causing shutdown. And in the same breath, they could capitalize off the event with this mother's death, this female's death, by advertising emotional misfortune for this family and the community. They can gain financially and build programs that teach resilience along with warning signs and have aids in post-disaster recovery. The informant stated the grandmother and father were happy because this could create another avenue of generational wealth that she could form for her son, who is on disability, to run for his own financial independence. The young female related to the father is involved in civic leadership, public service, and advocating for change. She stated this needed to represent the painful but artistic process of creating a perfect romantic relationship that is thrown into extreme stress, causing creative exhaustion. So the sister also planned on creating an avenue for financial benefit. Reason being is they could poison this hitman's mind and trick him into killing this young female who is a mother. In case the plan goes wrong, he will then be the only suspect the police will look at. After speaking to the hitman, they realized he was having trouble following through. Since he reported the mother ran away from him the first time, they couldn't afford for her to get away again. They gained access to the kitchen of the home through the mother's sister-in-law. They told this hitman that they took extra precautions in making sure the death would happen tonight, no matter what. The mother's favorite meal was made and poisoned by the sister-in-law. The hitman destroyed the dinner and decided to take the mother to a hidden location. Hitman states to make it appear as the murder happened until payment was received. The mother's children refused to leave the mother's sight. The hitman panicked. He could not do this with children. The hitman created a dramatic scene to call attention for police. The mother's sister-in-law thought this was a part of the plan. She did not call for officials until some time after. The sister-in-law obtained the brother. The sister-in-law felt this would give the hitman a head start to the river. The sister-in-law cleaned up the food that was poisoned and destroyed by the hitman, so no evidence of poison could be tracked back to her. This family also paid the sister-in-law to poison the brother of the mother. The brother's life came to an end. The sister-in-law then had to wait time before payment was received. The sister-in-law then needed to make sure she moved away from her original state of living, commit a crime to encounter police interaction, so this family could have officials that they work with in this group have a legal reason to interact with her in order to make exchange for the funds. The hitman has stood silent behind bars with zero support. Looking at life, several attempts to claim insanity pleas are not working. Recently, spiritual warfare has been happening behind bars. He cannot run from this spiritual warfare, and he is petrified. God has given him an option. He come forward in regards to this plan, who the players are, and what each player did. And God will keep him from the grips of the devil, but not without punishment, for his fault does not go unacknowledged. The attempt to keep a life intact is what is saving this man from being handed to the devil. But God does not take lightly playing both sides. You do not get to make deals with God and the devil. This man is going to be punished for the spiritual acts that he committed that are illegal, as well as the illegal acts against this female and her children in the physical realm. Due to this information, this family, the grandmother, the son, the sister, and the wife, who is under a fraudulent marriage, are now under investigation by the FBI. The mother and the sister, the grandmother and the sister, have secretly planned to leave the country. And that is where the message with the EMF reader stopped. This is clearly, like I said, a specific message, so if none of this has anything to do with you, do not use this message and apply it to your life, as there's repercussions and destruction that will follow this information. If you know anyone whose story this does sound like, go on ahead and pass this information along to the correct people, officials, whatever. And don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe.